Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Congressman Carson, for having me here today, and thank you, Indianapolis Beautiful. You can't already imagine why we're in favor of green jobs. I mean, obviously, we represent about 75,000 union construction workers in the state of Indiana, and we're the first people to get the job. Unlike a lot of industries where somebody has a job, works in a building for 10, 20, 30 years, maybe retires, our guys may work on a job for 1 month, 2 months, a year, or 2 years. So we're always looking down the road to find the next opportunity for our guys. And with changing opportunities means changing technologies, advancements in the way construction works, and advancements of building. As you have growth, you see the construction of new highways. Let me say that the people I represent include your electricians, your laborers, your carpenters, your boiler makers, and we predominantly handle commercial industrial construction. So it's anything from a BP Amoco, who's now trying to convert their facilities to use the oil sands of Canada, to the Edwardsport coal gasification plant, where they're trying to realize Indiana's dependence on coal, but yet move towards a system where they can make a more environmentally friendly plant. We're constantly working on environmental work at all utilities throughout the state, and we realize that any more investments on whether it be these facilities now, or wind turbines, or solar power, they're technologies that we need to become familiar with as the economy shifts to these more efficient forms of electricity. Throughout the state, we invest about $25 million a year in training for our workers. That includes our apprentices. You know, if we're talking 45,000 new jobs in the state of Indiana, that's a good portion of which we're going to have to train, which means we're going to have to get them into our facilities and put them through 5-year training programs so they know how to work on wind turbine or if they're an electrician, or know how to work on solar panels if they're a sheet metal worker. Additionally, we've got an aging workforce out there. Currently, our average age of construction workers is about 57. These are individuals that may need to get out there and learn more skills to get into these emerging technologies. But we're looking forward to being able to reach out and bring new people into these jobs as they emerge. We also realize that energy efficiency is something that is very important. And when you're talking green buildings, and things we've done, we've got the Indianapolis Terminal, which is LEED certified. Those are the types of things our workers are trained in doing to make everything more efficient.
Thank you. I think one of the simplest but most profound statements I read about the green job opportunities is they can't send these buildings to China. They're going to have to We're going to have to hire teachers. I was on the road yesterday. I saw two massive semi-loads of wind turbine parts. It's pretty exciting to know that American-made going to a wind farm, probably the one in northern Indiana because it was coming up 65. So thank you for your perspective on the labor side. And last but certainly not least is my friend, the Honorable Greg Porter, who, as I said earlier, chairs the House Committee on Education here in the Indiana House of Representatives, and also works for the Indiana Health and Hospital Corporation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I thought I had a whole hour and a half to do this. So I went and prepared everything, and sincerely, jokingly, thank you all for being here, Congressman Carson, other panel members, and to each and every one of you that are here today. I'm glad to be with you to have this meaningful conversation in regards to global warming and green energy. I first want to also acknowledge my colleague, Mary McKee, from the Marion County Health Department, who lives this every day. Her and I have been talking over the last 2 years at least about peak oil and what that means in regards to health and the quality of life for not only the city of Indianapolis, but the state of Indiana. And so, you know, I think this morning, and I have some prepared remarks, so I really won't be long. I'll be like Elizabeth Taylor did her last 6 husbands. It won't keep you long. In regards to what we need to do. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you again, Congressman Carson, for letting me participate. Climate change, is it a public health crisis or opportunity? Climate change is potentially the greatest threat to public health that we're encountering. we talk about emergency preparedness and things like that, but where does climate change really lie in that? Climate change is, for a horrible word, it's kind of a form of terrorism that we've done on our own selves. And that's something that we have to really realize and think about in regards to climate change. What are we going to have for our future? We have become somewhat, I guess one would say arrogant or non-responsive to what I learned back at Earlham College when I graduated years ago, 30 years ago now. But we were talking about it then, but I didn't comprehend it. I was saying like, oh, okay, that's fine, we got COVID, but I'm living the life that I want to live. But as I embark and begin to have a family, and begin to look at have grandchildren, things like that, Congressman, I'm like, wait a minute, let me reevaluate what we're doing here in Indianapolis and throughout the state. So when we talk about the global emissions and everything, we are slowly poisoning ourselves. I mean, you think about it, we will, as I hear my friend says, Bill Crawford says, along with the other individual says, we are creating a future for our children that we will not see. I mean, the future that we have is, we won't even be here. But what we do now will help make their quality of life better. So, when we talk about the quality of life, we talk about globalization and green, it's looking at what's going on in regards to foodborne and waterborne infections and increase in our community. I had an opportunity to go to Alaska about 3-4 years ago and saw the glaciers, and they looked real nice, but they were just really falling. I'm going like, wait a minute, that's not healthy. And they've said that because of global warming, the glaciers were melting. I witnessed that. And that changed my attitude about 3 or 4 years ago. So these are things that I think that we're going to have to continue to look at in regards to public health and climate change. It can be a crisis. It is a crisis. It really is. And from public health perspective, there are a lot of things that we can do. And I won't get into all that unless there's questions coming up. But we have to look at what we're doing in our community when it comes to addressing the global needs of our whole society. And from an education perspective, like you said, we have a 6.3% unemployment rate as a state. We have the biggest initiative right now in the General Assembly, Matt Pierce, along with Ryan Dvorak and myself and others, we voted for give millions of dollars in regards to life science initiatives. What does that really mean? It's not just about genomics. It's not about just, looking at sciences and the petri dish, as I call it, I'm dating myself, but it's about what are we going to do holistically for our whole society and our whole state and our nation. So when we talk about that, we need to look at what are the things that would trigger young people to understand what having a green society is about. As I say, my daughter's 25 and she knows and she thinks about it. She went to Earlham, and she understands it, but she's not really ready to bone up and make some real changes yet. But I bet you when she hopefully gets married and have children, she'll take a different perspective. And I hope that's not too late. But prior preparation prevents poor participation. And I hope that we go through this, we'll do all the right things. But in regards to life science, we're talking about that perspective. But what is another perspective of it is looking at green jobs and economy. We're looking at creating 45,000 new jobs in this community. I live in 36 in Pennsylvania. I mean, the 38th Meridian and the 29th in Meridian, there's a guy always standing out there saying he needs some help. Come here, let me show you about being green, and be able to rehab a house in Mapleton Fall Creek, or Meridian Kessler, things like that. Those are the things that I think that we need to get our children back on track to do. Utilizing universities. If we're going to give them millions of dollars for life science, say why not look at green now? Why not look at the economy? Because it is economic development. And those are the things I think as a policymaker,